pissing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like pissing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Buggy like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
To the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We up in this thing, the great Saint Think Tank Sports Coma, representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. Like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, but we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Fam, what's popping? How y'all doing tonight in the stream? Hope you guys are doing all right. Big ups to the fam. Please feel free, family, as you're coming in, to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. If you're listening via Twitter, please feel free to kindly give us a retweet. We up in this thing. And this one here called Saints and Marshon Lattimore's future timeline. And what I just want to bring to light, man, is a couple of the things, because this is quite not over in terms of the Saints Lattimore drama. And it's a shame, because truthfully, Lattimore shouldn't be going anywhere, and we're going to delve into that tonight. Also, we're going to talk about the fact that the Saints did waive a couple of players in anticipation of the little rookie mini camp that they got coming up on the 10th, which is a couple of days from now. That'll be exciting. That could be a preview of the Saints opening up spots for two potential veteran players to come in and kind of solidify the roster early on, and we'll keep it popping and going in that way. So we'll talk about that today. We'll also talk about where CBS has this new QB poll ranking. We'll cover that, as well as where they have Derek Carr ranked in the CBS QB ranking poll. So we'll go over that, and it's very interesting. We'll touch on the unofficial depth chart today to kind of look at it as we get ready, stirred up for the next leg, which is the rookie minicamp. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Much love to all y'all. There's also a poll, family. There's a poll that's attached to the chat, and it says, do you think the Saints will trade Lattimore? And of course, we've had about 50 people as of it right now. If you're coming in, family, if you haven't voted, hit that poll and give me your thoughts on, do you think the Saints will trade Lattimore? It's a very close poll, man. I thought it'd be a little bit further out than what it is, but 52% right now are saying yes, they will trade him, and 48 saying no. So it's kind of almost at that middle line, man, between, because a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation, especially in the Great Saint Think Tank, can't conceive that when you finally get a top 5 cornerback, why would you talk about trading him? You can't use contract as a reason why the Saints are anticipating trying to trade him. You can't use that. You damn sure can't use that. You can't turn around and say, oh, he's a cancer to the team. You can't say that either, because Lattimore is not a cancer to the team. The last time he got into it, it was what? So many years ago, behind that whole debacle that happened with the guys in the car, and that was some time ago. Since that happened, you haven't heard not one high or hair from Laddie Daddy, as we affectionately call him here at the Great Saint Think Tank in the Coma. You can't say that. So what reason could you use to say, okay, we got him on the trade block. What's the problem here? What's going on? The reality is there is no reason for you to trade Marshon Lattimore. Seriously, there's no reason for you to do that. There's no reason at all. The logical reason at all anyway. But the reason that they're doing it is because of Lattimore's, and not just him, there are other players that's disgruntled too, but it's the direction of where the Saints have been doing over the last couple of years under the Dennis Allen administration. It's the lack of trust and faith in the head coach. That is the real reason. And that is a sorry reason to talk about trading a top 5 cornerback when he's healthy. You know, it's just stupid Saints stuff, in my opinion. I can't gloss over it any more than that. If I'm the general manager of the team, I'm going at Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen is off code. I'm not trying to me, Marshon Lattimore has more value than Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is the worst coach in the NFL, in my opinion. He's the worst head coach in the NFL, in my opinion. He had a loaded team, and the best that he can do is what he did over the last couple of years, which is fail. He took them back in his first year, and then he finally got 9-8, which was only good for him because 9-8 don't mean nothing if you don't get in the playoffs. That's also a measurement they use as a propaganda machine turns on and said, we 9-8, we just need one more win to get in the playoffs. No. The reason why you didn't get the one win is because of Dennis Allen. Remember when Mickey Loomis did all that talking about the breakdown, but when we reacted to what Adam Shine was saying, and I don't play games with it. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, we all good. But if it's only when I get upset is when you start coming around here with all that BS. We don't play that here. In New Orleans and many other places in the great Saint think tank, we don't play that. We don't play the BS in the BS and the blame the injury game. We don't do that. We don't play injury hot potato. Oh, that's injury. We don't do that because we know that the best hedge against injuries is to stack pile your depth chart to the best of your ability. Be on your game. Do your research like you're supposed to. If you would get up off your ass, make it Loomis, and start evaluating during the season, then you would have maybe got them to get the one win that they needed. The reason why they didn't get the one win is because Dennis Allen refused to change the offensive line coach during the season because they were stinking. He refused to make a change at the offensive coordinator level because they were stinking. Change out, let Curry see what he can do. Didn't do none of that. Lied and said 3 times that he was and didn't do nothing. Then at the end of the year, you're going to sit up there and talk about he's pissed about not getting the one win they need to get into the playoffs. We don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget that, and stop listening to these clowns out here that's saying they one win all from whatchamacallit. They're not taking the account of what's really going on with the team. The reason why you didn't get the one win is because the head coach, he didn't make the adjustments when he was supposed to make the adjustments, and that is the problem, boys and girls. That's the problem. So miss me with the injuries, miss me with the C-19 stuff. That's another lie he told about C-19. That's the reason why the Saints cap stuff was all messed up. No, the reason was because of dumb contracts like this Carr contract. We can't afford Derek Carr. We couldn't afford Derek Carr's contract, $150 million to that guy. We couldn't afford that. A better way to have done it. There are many different economic ways that you could have done it as opposed to pay him and others. What about Marcus May's contract and some of these guys that you sign and not working out? We're not getting total value out of the draft picks that we're getting. And then, of course, like I said, if you want to turn around and look at what the problem is, it all goes back to 2 people. Really, you can go above those people, but it's Mickey Loomis who hired Dennis Allen. His inability to effectively look at Dennis Allen and see that Dennis Allen is not who he think he is, as opposed to turn to us and tell us that we're negative noise, and we're validated by the fact that you keep, how about to say something? You keep losing because you don't have the answers because you're a dinosaur. Your time has passed. And I'm imploring the people above Mickey Loomis to step in and see this. If you love Mickey Loomis so much, keep him as the vice president, but please take his general manager duties away and give it to a younger, more ambitious and a guy that's going to actually do his goddamn job and evaluate during the season and when the season's not off season, in season, off season. That's all I'm saying. It makes sense. We're going to talk about the Saints Super Bowl. How many years has it been since the Saints hoisted the Lombardi? And they still living off of that rep. How many years have they done it? How many years has it been since the Saints held up the Lombardi as the Super Bowl champion? Man, it's been a long ass time. It's been a long time, but we living off that past rep. You're living off of it. But people like Philadelphia that got multiple championships, you can't do that shit up there. I remember Peterson went up there and won a championship. What is 2 years later? He was looking for a job. You know why? Because they got a high ceiling. They got a high bar. You just can't come up in there and spend some bull. They'll get on you. And that's what I'm trying to get the family members up. I'm trying to get the family members on that level. The majority of us to act like that, not as wild and crazy as some of the Philadelphia people, because they die hard, it's true and true, but they're not going to let you play with them on that. Maybe with the basketball, with trust the process crap, they fell for that garbage, but that's why they ain't going for it no more. All I'm saying is in the end, we can't play these games. All right. Shout out to Brother Keldrick says they're trading Lattimore because they can't afford to pay him. Plus, they're trying to get younger. Yeah, they can't afford to pay him because they got a lot of dumbass contracts the Saints have done. Mickey Loomis has tied this team up. And they said this year and next year. Family, it's more than this year and next year. When you start looking at the numbers, the Saints are tied up salary cap wise for at least the next 3 years. The only way they can stay viable is to keep kicking the can. He's turned them into a perpetual can kicking, cookbooking ass team. Say that 3 times in a row. And that's the real. That's the real. You can't get around the numbers. It ain't about emotions. It's not about likes and dislikes. What it's about is actual truth and numbers. The truth is this kick the can, boil the books ass philosophy that Mickey Loomis been doing for years and tied the Saints money up into bad contracts and phantom deals so far into the future, 2 or 3 years into the future where the team has to do this cheap ass stuff. Now they're trying to focus on the draft because that's the cheapest way to build the team when you should have been doing that. We could have been. Why we didn't draft a quarterback a couple years ago? Why we spent $150 million on a mid-ass quarterback? Why would we do that? You know? And I can understand what the Saints are attempting to do in terms of they want to compete because a lot of this is desperation because they understand that the window, you're not going to tolerate a 4th year of not making the playoffs. But guess what? Boys and goyles. Guess what's going to happen this year? You got a tougher NFC South. You got a tougher schedule that you got to compete with. Shout out to my Patreon champions and my YouTube membership family. We did a stream last night when I was showing them the teams that they got to play in 2024. This ain't no joke here. This ain't no joke. So, I mean, in the end, this is just what it is, man. Black Major, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. Says it's a bad move. Saints, he's the best cornerback in the NFL, like Kool-Aid. But if you're trying to make a strong push in the plus, we need our seasoned guys. Exactly. You're not going to, I mean, fam, listen. Remember Bill Parcells said about a rookie? A rookie is good for a loss. Remember that? Because you can't count on them up until a point. You can't expect them, to you do the best you could do. When you start relying on with rookies or inexperienced players, it's gonna be tough. We'll see. Shout out to all y'all, man. Brother Tori, how you doing, sir? Shout out to you. Elite, Brother St. John, shout out to you. My queens out there, Dana, shout out to you, Brother Joseph. Everybody, man. Slim, everybody. My dog Kai is in here. Shout out to you, Brother Kai. OG Jerry. Shout out to you, OG. Good to see you as well. Elite, everybody in the building, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Y'all hit the like button. What's up, TJ, man? Big ups to you. GM Kev is in this thing. Shout out to you. Good to see you as well. 985J in the building. What's happening, brother? How you doing, man? Brother John's in this thing as well. Inevitable is in this thing as well. Good to see you. Big ups to everybody, man. Hope y'all doing well. What's up, Queen Barbara? How you doing, Queen? Good to see you. Appreciate you. Brother Quavadius is in this thing as well. Always, my dog Trey's in this thing. Always got to get a diehard day ones. Much love, man. Before we start talking that real. Young City, I see you, fam. Appreciate you as well. Much love to y'all, man. And listen, fam, when you turn on the Coma, you're not going to get sugar and spice and everything nice. You're going to get real deal Holyfield talk from your boy. That's all I can do. I've been doing this for a while. Y'all know. And I don't play favorites. If the Saints stink, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to be fair. And I'm going to just tell you like it is. And these people be listening to this show, family. They listen to this stream. I've been doing this for a long time and it never changed. They listen to this stream and they're not very happy with me talking like this because ain't nobody calling Mickey Loomis out like me. Last year, I pinpointed all his elitist commentary, the fact that he's incompetent at his job and all this kind of stuff. I called that out. He basically, what's up, Gundam? Shout out to my brother Gundam, man. Big ups to you, man. Good to see you. Be cool, man. Much love, man. Everybody, man. Appreciate y'all. Truth hurts. The truth does hurt, bro. But you know that old saying about the truth being sweet in the mouth but sour in the belly? They just want people to agree with them. Just agree. Just agree with us. We know what we're doing. And your negative noise. Hold on now, Q. Hold on. You stop this bullshit. I'm telling you. You're negative noise. You're a negative nanny. That's what you are. A negative. Yeah. I might. You call me that. You said that we're not qualified. We're negative noise, but yet you're sitting up there with another failed ass experiment last year. Now we counting on all this, and now we're talking about trading a top 5 corner. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, fam, listen. I think, and that before I said, man, the people ain't stupid enough to do that. No, yes, they are. Mm-hmm. But see, the thing is, if you're going to trade Laddie Daddy, and a lot of Saints players listen to the Coma, if you're going to trade Laddie Daddy, at least have a good reason for doing it. That's all I ask. Every player, sometimes they get sour, but have a good reason for why you're trading them. Now, I ask you, what's the reason for them trading Lattimore? What's the reason? It's not his contract. They can throw up the injury history, but he got rolled up. It was a freak accident last year. He was balling his ass off last year. When he's healthy, he's a top 5 cornerback. People don't even throw to that side. So what's your reason for trying to trade Lattimore? What's the reason? The reason is because he lost confidence in Dennis Allen. Instead of Mickey Loomis checking Dennis Allen, he would rather trade a top 5 cornerback to appease Dennis Allen, when he should be checking Dennis Allen. This is the kind of nonsense that I'm talking about. That don't make any sense to me. But then again, that's why he needs to be removed from that job. And it probably won't happen because nobody's checking nobody. Dennis Lucia, who's the president of football operations down at the New Orleans Saints, he's also the president of basketball operations for the Pelicans. He don't know shit about basketball or football. He's a businessman. He's a businessman. If you're Colgate and you want to become the official toothpaste for the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans Pelicans, that's who you talk to. He'll take you out to lunch. Work out the particulars of the deal. How much it'll cost for your little toothpaste to represent to become the official toothpaste of the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans Pelicans. The official lawyers. It's the same thing. That's who you talk to. Now, when you're talking about football, the biggest football brain in the building is Mickey Loomis. He defers all questions to Mickey. That's where you're messed up at. If you don't know about football, you need to hire somebody that's in there to keep the team young. All these people are up in age, and I'm not disrespecting my older people. What I'm saying, if you can only do something at a high level for a certain period of time before age catches up with you or before the game changes, the man been doing it for so long, and then if that don't hurt you, it's the fact that the team is failing. The window is vastly closing. The next 2 years, your best players are not going to be on this team anymore. In 2 years, your best players are gone. I'm talking about Tyrann Mathieu. I'm talking about Demario Davis. I'm talking about Cam Jordan. I'm talking about, it probably Carr's, he ain't one of the best, but Carr's contract and all that, they're going to be off the team. So what kind of team you going to have in 2 years? Because they banking on the veterans, the older players, to kind of stabilize the team while they put young players up underneath them. And hopefully they don't reset and go all the way down. They don't want to do a hard reset. The last time the Saints had to reset, and we talked about this last night, was when when Katrina hit. They were forced to. Then they had to build all the way up, all the way. They had to find a new coach, new quarterback. They had to go into the draft, Reggie Bush, all this kind of old stuff. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, is they don't want to do a hard reset. That's why they spent all that money holding Drew Brees well into his late 30s when he couldn't throw the ball no more. And Paul Drew right now came out, basically said that he can't even use his throwing arm. He has to throw left-handed. So what the hell? Well, the Saints New Orleans, they had his medicals. They knew that his arm was an issue, and they still was trying to sign him. Remember, Drew, they was waiting on Drew to sign. And before Drew said nah, he turned him down. What kind of plan is that, man? They don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. They don't have a plan. They just fly the seat of the damn pants. And that's why there's failure there. Because when you fail to plan, then plan to fail. And the Saints are failing right now. It don't make any sense for you to talk about trading Lattimore. And the reason why you're trading Lattimore is because he has a he lost faith in Dennis Allen, who has not given them anything to have faith in. I've lost faith in Dennis Allen. I've lost faith in Mickey Loomis because I've recognized that these men are operating on the wrong energy. They're operating off of ego and emotional energy. You seen it full blast last year at the end of the season. Press conference with Mickey Loomis, eyes bulging, face flushed, chewing on that gum. You seen all that happening, talking crazy, comparing Dennis Allen to Bill Belichick and all these people. Crazy. All the people's like, has this guy lost his mind? Man, Ben lost his mind, fam. Y'all just wasn't paying attention, man. He been lost it. He been hiding under Sean Payton. Payton was the one that was doing all this stuff. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, this whole call to get Dennis Allen. But the thing is, if you're the man, if you're the general manager, check that coach. Get on him. Don't sit up there and let him fail. You stay on his back. Mickey Loomis don't do that. He goes and closes his door. He don't talk to the players during the season, but wants to give them a pep talk, or at the end of the season won't hold them in there and talk to them about something. You should have did that shit before the season ended. You should have been in there talking to him. You should have been over Dennis Allen's bat, putting pressure on him last year. If you'd have put pressure on him to change his offense around, you would have got the one win that you talk about. We needed one more win. We just needed one win. If we would have got that win, we would have been in the playoffs. I told you, man, we were one win away. No, we never would have got that win because he never was serious about making a change. All you had to do was make a change up the offensive line coach. If you had to put Jari Evans in there, do it. If you had to change up Curry with Pete Carmichael for a game or two to see how the offense looked, do it. Whatever you got to do, but just don't let the season suffer away while you sit up there with your goddamn arms folded. And then at the end of the year, well, we just needed one more win. Man, get the hell out of here with that bullshit, man. We ain't playing that. You don't think we understand? We know we seen it. We seen what happened. So it pisses me off because Marshon Lattimore, this shouldn't even be a show. There is no reason why he should be traded. It's no reason why he should be traded. They reworked his contract. But anyway, let's get into the show, man. Shout out to Tasha. Good to see you. Sean, all y'all at there, Hindi and Newton, big ups to y'all. Sorry I had to go off right quick, man, but it just don't make no sense, man. It don't make a lick bit of sense for none of this stuff to be operating this way. For us to be talking about trading Marshon Lattimore, what the hell for? Why? Because he lost faith in Dennis Allen? Hell, I lost faith in Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen ain't shit. He ain't giving you nothing to have faith in. Backstabbing his team, doing weird ass stuff. Sashaying around the building, acting weird. Man, what? I mean, come on. He ain't doing nothing. But anyway, let's keep it going. The Clint Kubiak thing might help out. I'm counting on Clint because I've lost faith in all these other people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've lost faith in Dennis Allen. I don't think he is going to improve any more than what he's doing now because I don't see him reading anything. He's not taking. He ain't doing nothing to improve. You got to improve during the offseason mentally, spiritually. You got to learn something. You think you're going to just develop into a great coach just because you over a team? No, you got to be studying materials that make great people, that make great leaders. Study something, read something, do something, change something, do something more. As a head coach, learn how to be a better motivator. Stop trying to be a head coach that called the plays on the defense and turn it over to your defensive coordinator, Joe Woods, who's pretty solid, and oversee the team. Do something different. Change it up. Do something different, man. Do something different. Anyway, let's get into this, fam. And this is what we got. I got dolled up right here. This is from NFL TR Trade Rumors. They did a wonderful article. We covered the full article on the Patreon special we did last night. So if you want to check that out, feel free to join the YouTube channel, join the Sports Coma channel, or go to patreon.com/Pro Media Network. You can join there, hit the link tree. It's in the description section. We got 183. It's 183 shows that we did on Patreon, man. So 183 just a lot of content there. Bunch of shows. More than that, to be honest with you. But that's just all I can recount. It's a bunch of them up there. All right. So anyway, let's get into this article, just this section of the article we're going to talk about, right? How will the Saints get under the cap? Now, this ties with Marshon Lattimore. They say it will operate conservatively with a projected cap growth of about $15 million, leaving almost $71 million in player costs that the Saints need to clear. The first step is actually the one the Saints could take this summer, which is a potential trade of Marshon Lattimore, right? They'll save almost $11 million. That's what they're saying. There's been persistent chatter regarding Lattimore's place in the Saints' plans. Well-sourced members of the local beat writers or the insiders, like Nick Underhill, shout out to him. The smoking gun is the restructure of Marshon Lattimore's contract late last season. Remember, late last season. Remember, late last season. Late last season, not this season. All right. So they were thinking about this during the season. All right. Late last season, converting most of the 2024 base salary into a bonus to spread out over future years, like they've done dozens of times before. The only time this time is the Saints use an option bonus instead of a signing bonus, which he signs, he get the money, right? The option is something different. Now, what does it mean to another team that trades for Lattimore? They will pay him the money instead. The option bonus says that if I trade the Lattimore to the Raiders will pay Lattimore the money, and instead of the Saints. The option is due shortly before the start of the season. All right, I'm giving you a timeline to be aware. I told the family members this last night, and I'm gonna get a game on the rest of you with this. Listen, there's a timeline that we need to be aware of for a trade to happen. Let me expound. What that means is that if another team trades for Lattimore, they will pay him the money instead. The option is due shortly before the start of the season, giving the Saints a window to explore trade offers. Trading Lattimore now would be impractical. Why can't they trade him right now? Why is it impractical? Because of how the dead money would put the Saints over the cap, but the math changes after June 1st. So you got part of the timeline, June 1st, and the start of the season. So before I carry on with the rest of this, let me go to this little article right here. And I'm gonna play. This is what Mickey Loomis said when he was on Adam Shine's show. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear this.
What does this mean here when it comes to Marshon Lattimore, if anything?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Marshon's been a really good player for us for a good period of time. He's one of the leaders of our team, and look, it's just like I said, we can use as many corners as we can get, and we've got a good group, a really good group, and they're going to help each other, and they're going to help our team win.
So elaborate on that if you can for us, Mickey, because there was so much conversation, and you're right. Marshon's one of your guys, part of a fabled and famous draft class, right? I mean, there was so much conversation about trading Kim, and there still is conversation about it. Is he on the market? Is he going to be a Saint this year? I know what you think of him. I know what you think of the cornerback position. I know what Dennis Allen thinks of the cornerback position. Separate fact from fiction for us on Marshon Lattimore.
Yeah, I would. And look, I would say this about any player is that, look, when a guy's a really good player for your team, they're not on the market per se. But there are times when you get a call and somebody makes a proposal and it might make sense for you. That's true for any player on our team. If you get an offer you can't refuse, you at least have to look at it. And so that's what I would say. I'm not actively trying to trade Marshon. Marshon's, such a good player. He's an elite corner. He's had some injuries the last couple of seasons that have kept him, off the field. And, we've got to get over that. It's not his fault. It's just circumstances. And so, that's just where we're at.
Now, the reason why I'm spinning that is because I want people to be aware of what Mickey Loomis says. And there was a dozen articles wrote about Mickey Loomis saying they're not actively trying to trade. They're not actively looking to trade Marshon Lattimore. What does that mean? So sometimes when you're listening to these guys, you got to kind of read in between the lines. You got to, they'll say stuff. And then I've listened to these guys for years. 4 years I've been listening to Mickey Loomis, and I've learned to listen a little bit, because some people, when you're listening, they kind of tune them out. But the term actively, we're not actively trying to trade Marshon Lattimore. What does active means? Active means that they're not soliciting to teams to trade Lattimore. But If you call me, I'll listen to your offer. That is what's going on here. You see that? You caught that? Actively means that he's not going out calling Carolina, calling Buffalo, calling the Chargers, calling the Texans, and saying, "Hey, man, y'all want Lattimore?" That's what active means. Inactive means the opposite of that is they're calling him. But the word is out that Lattimore is on the trade block. Now, the reason why in my mind I'm saying, man, they're going to trade him is because what I just covered and I told you about it. The contract is set up. The option is set up where the other team that's getting Lattimore, they'll pay his salary, they pay his money, and the Saints get $11 million. Now, they don't get that big chunk until next year, but they get about $4 million this year and a big chunk, double digits next year. Let me finish this up. Let me go back to this article now, right? Let's go back to this article, right? Now, I just told you the timeline. I gave you a timeline between June the 1st and the start of the season when option kicks in. That's the time frame between if the Saints are going to trade Marshon Lattimore. The reason why I think it's going to happen is because I just feel like they're listening to people contacting them, and sooner or later somebody's going to give them an offer that they want. Now, it's not going to be a first round draft pick, and more than likely it's probably going to be a second. Hopefully it don't be anything less than a second round pick, but I'm thinking that, and I really don't want Lattimore to be traded, because the reason why they're trading him is because he doesn't like, he fell out with Dennis Allen. He lost faith in the coach. So we trade a top 5 cornerback in the NFL because of a bum ass coach like Dennis Allen that's off code. Makes no sense to me. You check the coach, apologize to the player, and say, man, listen, we're gonna do this right. We need your help. We need you to win. Check the dumb coach. But that takes an on-code general manager to check the coach and make sure, listen, I got this. I'm the general manager. I'm telling Marshon Lattimore, listen, bro, listen. Then I'm going to send Dennis Allen in here. He'll apologize to you and these other players here. And I promise you, as the general manager of the Saints, that I will be looking over his shoulder, and I promise you there'll be no off-code behavior in here. We'll concentrate on winning, and we'll do everything that we can to win this year, to be competitive from here on out. You have my word. My door is open for you. If you have any problems and you can't hash them out with the coach, come and see me. I'll make sure we get it right. That's not what kind of general manager you got, fam. I've been telling y'all that. That guy goes and closes his door and talks about him being too emotional to do in-season evaluations, and you need in-season evaluations more than you need them off-season. You're playing football during that period of time. These evaluations count for something. And if the general manager is not evaluating during the season, you're losing out on a lot of the information, because he's supposed to have his hand on the back of Dennis Allen, making sure that he feels the pressure of the boss, the guy ahead of him, to win and not feel comfortable. Then wants to talk about comfortable after the season was, he never used comfortable before. We were saying that. That's how you know they're listening. They never mentioned comfortable before. We were saying that here. We were saying that over and over. This dude is too comfortable, too comfortable. I was saying it week after week, and all of a sudden it gets into his vocal lexicon. Really? Well, they're just too comfortable. No, they're not too comfortable. You are too comfortable. Too comfortable not doing your job. Anyway, post June 1st trade of Lattimore was split the dead money charged to only $10.6 million in 2024. The remaining $20 million and defer it to the 2025. That's less than New Orleans' current cap obligations to Lattimore in both years. Let me say that again. What it means, if another team trades for Lattimore, they will pay him the money instead. The option is due shortly before the start of the season, giving the Saints a window to explore trade offers. Trading Lattimore now will be impractical because of how the dead money would put the Saints over the cap. The math changes after June 1st. A post-June 1st trade of Lattimore would split the dead money charge to only $10.6 million this year, with the remaining $20 million and change deferred to 2025. That is less than the New Orleans cap obligations to Lattimore in both those years. Trading Lattimore sometimes between June the 1st and the start of the season will create under $4 million in cap space this season and 10.7 in 2025. So you get $4 million back this year on your current cap situation. And the Saints are at, I think, at 8 million something right now. So if they did that, that'll boost it up to what, 12 million? And then next year they get almost 11 million back for 2025 on their cap. You see how it's all the money's falling? And remember, they did the contract late last year with the option to make it easier to trade him. And now you have a timeline with an easily a tradable contract with a timeline that's June 1st to the start of the year. So watch out. I gave you the timeline. The Saints may keep Lattimore if the offers are underwhelming, even if they're paying the option bonus will make it harder to cut ties in 2025. You get that? But there have some cracks in the relationship between the two sides over the last 2 years, with injuries happening, Lattimore's availability, and the Saints underperforming expectations under head coach Dennis Allen. That's the problem. They talk about the injuries. Notice Mickey Loomis didn't say nothing about Dennis Allen. See, this is a problem. That's why I have a problem with these people. They protect each other. They stay on code the opposite way. See, they got a dumbass code. They stay on code. He doesn't check Dennis Allen. He's patting Dennis Allen on his back like 9 wins was something positive. It wasn't positive. You got a loaded team. You supposed to be in the playoffs each year. This guy's been the head coach of this team. This team has underperformed every year that he's been the head coach. And it wasn't strictly because of talent. Crazy, man. When healthy, Lattimore remains one of the best cornerbacks in football. And there's enough contending teams with a need at cornerback. There should be a healthy market. Says, I think another team would need to put a day 2 pick on the table for the Saints to consider a trade, but landing Kool-Aid McKinstry in the second round might make New Orleans more willing to make a move. So look at the landscape of trading Lattimore, right? I've laid out everything. You've had multiple reasons why the Saints more than likely will trade Lattimore between June 1st and the start of the new year. I mean, the start of the regular season. Let me lay it out again. Everything lines up. The contract has been restructured where he'd be traded, where he's made tradable. When he gets traded to whatever team, they assume his money. The Saints get $4 million back once the trade happens this year, which boosts that $8 million, whatever it is right now. If you get them, if they, let's just say if the trade happens, they're at 8 million, 4 million on that, 10, 12. They get 12 million. So they have 12 million with him gone. And then they get almost 11 million on the cap for the 2025 year. Did you catch that? So you have the reason, the easily tradable contract, and you got the cap relief that you get in trading Lattimore, plus the third one. I'm gonna give you a third one that they already put a replacement for Lattimore with the draft pick in the second round of Kool-Aid McKinstry. That's why I say Lattimore is going to be traded. Now, if they keep him, it'll make it harder to get rid of for 2025. So all this was set up for a potential trade, and Mickey Loomis is saying he's not actively looking to trade Lattimore, but he's inactively trying to trade Lattimore. Did you catch that? Inactive versus active. Active means that we're not soliciting, and inactive means that we're allowing ourselves to be solicited too. There you go. 3 reasons I just gave you, plus a timeline. All makes sense, don't it, fam? It all makes sense. It all makes sense, man. And listen, all makes sense in terms of that. But the thing that got this all going right now is this off-code behavior by Dennis Allen failing the team over the last couple of years to get him to win because he refuses to change. You're not going to get anywhere with a guy that don't know how to change or adjust. The game is all about changing and adjustment. When guys are not doing their job, you're supposed to change them up. The offensive line, false start, the pre-snap penalties off the chain. Alvin Kamara was saying people was false starting in practice and nobody was saying nothing, including the head coach. What kind of coach is this? Who is this guy? See, they don't see Mickey Loomis in that little interview. He forgot to mention any of that, huh? He talked about injuries. He talked about all this other nonsense, but nothing about Dennis Allen, huh? You know why? Because he picked Dennis Allen because of Sean Payton. And that's why they pretend it's a back ass code. It don't work. It ain't gonna work with me. I'm telling you, I'll bust that shit to hell, man. You're not gonna walk in here with this nonsense about Dennis Allen and all this bullshit that Dennis Allen doing. You're gonna trade Lattimore and adjust his contract at the end of late last year when the season was still. I'm saying that because it happened late last year during the season. When you got time to reshape his contract and talk about trading him and Dennis Allen failing. He don't make no changes, not switching up nothing. These people, man, I tell you, this shit ain't hard, man. It ain't hard. It requires an active thinker. It requires somebody that has a realistic view on what they're looking at. It don't take anybody that's sitting up here, overvaluing people. Dennis Allen is a defensive coordinator masquerading as a head coach. He doesn't have the motivational ability. He doesn't have the motivation, the communication skills. He comes off as quirky and weird, and when uncertain, it's just, he's not a leader. He's not somebody you're gonna look to and trust and believe and say, hey man, I'll follow that guy. No, he's seen, half the team looks at him as a backstabber, and that's why Marshon Lattimore have a problem with him, because he was off code. But get rid of the dude that's a top 5 cornerback for a guy that's probably going to end up getting fired anyway, right? Good job, Mickey Loomis. And he can do that because ain't nobody watching over his damn shoulder to make sure his ass get in trouble if he making these dumbass calls with Dennis Allen. The people that's putting a foot to the fire is not Gail Benson or Dennis Lucia. We doing their jobs. We're up here saying, listen, Dennis Allen, we're going to pull our money back from you. We're going to pull Gail, Dennis, Lucia, and anybody that's out there listening for the Saints at the top organization, because I know y'all listening. Y'all always do. We got plenty of people that listen to the Sports Coma in the Saints building. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. At the end of the day, we're gonna pull our money back and our economics from buying your gear, your shirts, and all that until you start winning. We're not going to support a bad product. We're not going to do it. We're not giving our hard-earned money away to you unless you prove that you can do what you're supposed to do and turn this around. We've been supporting you through all of this BS for the 20 years when we was wearing the damn bags, we was putting money in your pocket. Until people say, you know what, the hell with this. Gas prices is high, every damn thing high. Why I'm going down here to watch these people lose every day, man. I'm tired of this shit. And people pulled their money back. Guess what happened? They got serious and started changing the team around. We are in a cycle. We're back to that period where we had 20 something odd years of success, and now we're in a downturn because the people at the top got fat and happy and rich, amazingly rich, and they don't see nothing but the money. So let's stop them from seeing the money. That's what I'm saying. And I've been talking about this for some time now. Don't go down there. Don't give them your money. If you want to see a change, they don't like me saying this, of course, because they want you to keep giving it to them because you'll be supporting a bad product. But don't give them none of your money until they prove to you they're serious about winning, until they actually start winning some games. Because there's no way in God's green earth that Dennis Allen should be the head coach of anybody's professional team. He got up there because of the good old boy circle, starting with Sean Payton, who told Mickey Loomis to hire that man, and that man was not qualified to be a head coach. He failed miserably with the Raiders, and there was no reason for him to take the job this time around when they interviewed very quality candidates for the job. And most of the candidates that got picked up by other teams kicking Dennis Allen asses when he play him. It's just sad, man. Really sad. This is truth talk. This is truth talk here. This truth time. All right, so anyway, that's what I got for y'all on that, man. Let me keep it moving. Let's cover this right here as the Saints waive QB Kellen Mond and as the rookie camp approaches. Shout out to our Niles Carpenter at the WhoDatDaily.com. He's the guy that writes for our Saint content. The Saints decided to release Kellen Mond, the QB, as revealed in the NFL's latest daily transaction report. The decision comes shortly after the Saints drafted Spencer Rattler, effectively making Mond's position precarious. The team now looks to reorganize its roster around Derek Carr with Rattler, Jake Hayner, and Nathan Peterman as the backups. So, that's the tweet right there. And additionally, the Saints have waived offensive lineman Tommy Kramer as well, who had appearances in both the Saints and Detroit lineups over the past 2 years. So Kellen Mond and Tommy Kramer, the offensive linemen, are in the street. Hence the big ass scissors right there. They are no longer members of the team. And that's what he's kind of looked at when you've seen Spencer Rattler get picked up. The Saints had 4 quarterbacks. Somebody wasn't going to make it unless they keep him there as a camp arm. But maybe the Saints looking at it, lining up, they're going to bring at least 2 more guys, into this rookie mini camp. Perhaps it's a veteran. We'll see whoever it is. But they're definitely looking at changing some things up. So a couple of news to kind of talk about as far as that is concerned. All right, so let's move on to the next article right here. And this one right here It's from CBS. This is an article right here. The NFL QB power rankings. Brock Purdy, Jordan Love crack top 10 and first post-draft pecking order. And just assessing every team starting QB ahead of camp. This is just CBS's take on it about the QB power rankings prior to the start of the season. And this is what they came up with. Now, nothing moves the needle in the NFL quite like quarterbacks. Why? They're the most important ingredient to a championship recipe. It is impossible to win a championship without an elite signal caller. No, but history tells us that it's much easier otherwise. So we're keeping tabs on all 32 starters throughout the 2024 season. Which one of the best? It says, which ones are the best of the best as we stand here today approaching the new year, and which ones could be in for trouble? All quarterbacks are partly a product of their situations, but this is how we sort today's signal callers right now. These power rankings are obviously subject to drastic change once games actually get underway, as they're built to be based on more of a current standing than the bigger picture in an effort to tell the story of each quarterback's respective rise and fall. Now, without further ado, here's our first pecking order of the 2024 season. This is CBS Sports 2024 NFL power rankings. But of course, Pat Mahomes boys at the top of the list. Brock Purdy, of course, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud from the Houston Texans. That's big, ranked top 5 there. Lamar Jackson, guy we could have drafted. Jalen Hurts, another guy we could have drafted. I was saying that the whole time, but both those guys tear your ass up, though. They tear the Saints up. Dak Prescott's up there. Justin Herbert's at 9. Jordan Love, who beat the Saints, came back, scored 11 points on the Saints to beat them. Remember that? That victory turns out to be a very tough victory because Green Bay, if the Saints had beat Green Bay and had held the lead, Saints might be in the playoffs, right? Jordan Love, after losing Aaron Rodgers, man, look at the Green Bay Packers. They're looking solid. Then there's old man Aaron's up there at 11. Tagovailoa is at 12. Jared Goff from the Detroit Lions, he had a good resurgence with them. Kirk Cousins is at 14 with Atlanta. Trevor Lawrence is 15. Matt Stafford is 16. Deshaun Watson is 17. Geno Smith is 18. Y'all thinking to yourself, where the hell is Derek Carr at? Well, let's keep going. Russell Wilson is 19. That's right, Russell Wilson is 19. Baker Mayfield is ranked at 20. Kyler Murray is 21. Will Levis, the Tennessee Titans, young quarterback, is ranked 22nd. Caleb Williams hadn't played a game yet, and he's ranked 23rd. Oh, wow. Anthony Richardson missed pretty much all of last year. He's 24th. J.J. McCarthy hadn't played a damn game yet, but he's ranked at 25. And then bam, bing, boom, there he is. Derek Carr listed as 26 by the CBS Power Rankings. And we know this is just their interpretation of it, but it's very interesting, to say the least, that they would place Derek Carr as the 26th ranked quarterback under several guys that hadn't even threw an NFL ball yet. That's very interesting. And what they say about him placed at 26 is entering year 11, Carr has proven he knows his way around a short area offense. He also took a beating in his Saints debut. It's tough to forecast anything other than another wild card flirtation. And then the other quarterbacks that they believe are ranked better than Derek Carr: Jacoby Brissett, Jaden Daniels, Gardner Minshew, Bo Nix, Bryce Young, and Daniel Jones. So he's better than those guys, just not better than the rest of the guys. So do the Saints have a flirtation with a wild card? They thinking that the Saints are not going to win the NFC South. So they said that you'll fight for a wild card spot. We took a look, like I said, y'all seen the schedules before. I was looking at the schedule and the teams that we play, and I'm not saying, they got some teams that I think we can beat, like the Giants and perhaps Washington, but there are some teams, and I was trying to count down seriously 10 wins, and even if I say we split, because I don't think we sweep Atlanta this year. I think we might split with Atlanta. Tampa Bay, we split with Tampa. And any team you might sweep might be Carolina, but then again, it might not be Carolina. I don't know. But any team you do have the potential to sweep might be Carolina. So you might get 4 wins there. But then you got to pick up 6 wins against other teams. Like we playing Dallas. We playing some pretty high-powered teams this year. We got Green Bay that we play, and I don't know where we're going to play them at. Hopefully we play them in the season early. They don't have us going up there late. But it's very interesting. I was trying to get to 10 wins. I think if you can get 10 wins, you'll be fine. but it's going to be very interesting because I want to see what Kubiak can do. It's going to be very interesting. But anyway, this is what they got going on in their rankings. Very interesting look. They believe that Derek Carr is ranked 26, and this is prior to training camp. Now, this could very well change. He can go up a little further, but it's just interesting to look at Derek Carr, Elvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Taysom Hill, Jamal Williams, Kendre Miller, all these weapons, Juwan Johnson, and then say 26 ranked. Gonna be interesting, man. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be very interesting moving forward, but it is what it is. All right, so let's keep it moving. This is the unofficial depth chart. Once again, another good look at the Saints' unofficial depth chart. I'll do a show where we kind of go over all of this, but I kind of from time to time, every show I span at the undrafted list just to see what the squads potentially could be. When I look at the unofficial depth chart, I leave Ramczyk out because I really do believe that Ramczyk doesn't play this year. I don't think Ram plays at all this year. I think Ram more than likely will sit out. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not counting on Ryan Ramczyk at all. No disrespect, but you need major surgery, and minor surgery is not going to help you. That will only serve to damage you. So I'm just going to count him out and deal with what we do have, which is Fuaga and Penning. That's who I think the tackles are going to be. Now, Landon Young could be an X factor there. Landon Young, depending on how he can step up and play there, could he kind of change things around and see what's going on? He, as far as that goes. But I'm not. That's the big question mark. Is about how the Saints offensive line look with 3 new people there, including Penning, with one of the tackles with Fuaga and Ali Udo. So the offensive line is really a big point of emphasis to me. I think the defense is way more talented than the offense is currently. I think the defense has improved radically. The Chase Young, if he's healthy, could him and Carl Granderson make a dangerous pairing where you're not going to be able to be a scrambling quarterback and beat the Saints like they did in the past. I think Willie Gay helps the Saints defense. If he beats out Pete Werner for the spot next to Demario Davis, he also adds to that. The scrambling quarterback's not going to be able to do anything with us. The drafting and the pickup of the defensive tackle, Christian Boyd, to replace Malcolm Roach is an upgrade, in my opinion. No disrespect to Malcolm Roach, but Christian Boyd will be an excellent interior defensive lineman for the Saints, gives them a push, and is a hell of a run-stuffing defensive tackle as well. And I think that that'll help the Saints keep the linebackers clean. That's a big part of the Saints doing this. Brian Bursey, hopefully he can make the next step to kind of move Saunders out of the way, and I mean not Saunders, Shepard. So it'd be Saunders and Bursey there, and Shepard kind of gets part of the rotation, and then Christian Boyd's in the mix as well, passing depending on where he is. But I really do think that once Chase Young is healthy and you got Carl Granderson there, that's going to be a dangerous combination. During Cam as a situational guy, it's going to be good in that regard. So the defense with those guys I just mentioned is super talented, Then of course they added, and of course once the Marshon Lattimore trade happens, that'll weaken us a bit. Then you'll see Paulson Adebo go up to the top position. Alante Taylor will more than likely play the opposite corner, and then you'll have Kool-Aid McKinstry that might just slide to the nickel position. I don't see them saying, listen, we're going to put Alante inside and this other guy. We'll see how it all goes. But I'm looking at it in terms of Alante Taylor occupying that other spot and McKinstry, because this thing with Marshon Lattimore, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, man. I was looking at the numbers. I was doing the research. I say, man, these bastards going to trade that, man. They got the contract right. The money set up right where they get $4 million back this year and almost 12 next year. And then it costs them if they don't trade them. They have to trade them. They have to trade them in 2024 because they'll be super hard to trade them in 2025. They're going to do it. And of course, like I said, but everything else. And then of course you look at Will Harris, who's another cornerback that's here. And Will Harris is a dude that can play the safety, corner positions for you, stuff like that. So he also adds some versatility there for the Saints secondary. So all in all, the Saints have really fitted the defense, and even to the special teams have added competition at both specialist positions, the kicker and punter position. So they're not sold on Blake Grupe. They're not sold on Lou Hedley. If Matt Highball or Charlie Smith out kicks those guys, they can win the job. They can win. They have no loyalty to none of these young kickers and punters the Saints have, and you shouldn't. Now, I like Blake Grupe, but he could, if he don't kick as well, he could be gone. Now, going back to the Saints offense, like I said, the biggest sticking point in terms of what has to happen to improve is the offensive line. There's so many question marks there. And maybe the Saints will bring in some veterans coming up soon, where they can kind of mesh them along with the rest of these guys, and we'll see what's going on. Because even though they threw a lot of undrafted talent and guys that are like Shane Lemieux, who could be a very solid interior lineman for you, but the guy gets hurt every year. For the last 2 or 3 years, he's had injuries that took him off the field almost the entire year each time. So you're looking at him, and the only reason we can get a guy of that talent is because he has that injury-prone label. Can he shake that? If that's a big if. Penning and Fuaga, those guys have to learn the tackle position. Trevor Penning having a horrible experience where he lost his confidence. John Benton's got to get these guys together. So what I'm saying is, we got a bunch of young guys and guys that we don't know what they can do. It's a lot of question marks from the offensive line. So that's why I'm paying the most attention to. In terms of the skill positions, like the running back, I think the running back room is the deepest room we got. And like I said, I'm going to delve into this and talk about this more on another stream going into it. But anyway, like I said, back to the Marshon Lattimore thing, fam. Just to be honest with you on the laddie daddy thing, it's a shame. It really is. It's a shame. But ultimately, it's going to happen. And the timeline is between June the 1st and the start of the year. They're going to trade him. They're going to trade him. They're just trying to see what kind of offers they're going to get. Stupid, man. Stupid, very stupid. But such is the Saints. All right. So anyway, with that being said, if y'all got any quick questions for me, I'm right at an hour. Y'all have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all being in the building. We up in this thing, man. Yeah, I kind of like I said, I kind of just show the family members and stuff because we can't afford to lose a top 5 cornerback. Even though we are solid where we are, we still can't afford to lose a cornerback as good as Marshon Lattimore. We really can't afford to lose any player right now, and we have to compete. The defense is strong. The offense has the most questions. I thought the money, if the little money the Saints were having, should have been thrown at the offensive side of the ball. I was questioning why the Saints only signed one veteran offensive lineman, and they did Ali Udo late in free agency. They finally got one dude who's pretty much, he played some starter minutes and was mostly as like a backup offensive lineman, guard tackle dude, but better at guard. And we had all of these guys. I'm sitting up here waiting, man. Aren't the Saints going to target at least one veteran? At least one dude, bring him here? One dude. And then we got a bunch of undrafted guys here and a couple of offensive linemen with no name and a guy that's injured a lot. So you're looking at it saying, well, it's still some time remaining before the start of the season. Is there a veteran out there the Saints can bring in to kind of help them offensive line-wise? Because that's what I'm looking at. There is a lot of question marks there. And a lot of that won't be answered until we start seeing these guys get out on the field and start getting this stuff together. So that's what I got. But anyway, let me go ahead on and see what you guys got going on in the chat, man. I wasn't looking. But any questions for the family members? Gundam Sands, he says, knowing DA, if Rattler brings the heat to Carr, DA will cut Rattler. I don't know. I kind of seen the Rattler thing. A lot of people kind of warming up to Spencer Rattler because they're going over all of his interviews. He did an interview with I forgot the guy's name, man. He did what was it called? The United Football League or whatever it's called. He did a lot of their commentary. And basically, he was asking some really good questions to Spencer Rattler, and Spencer Rattler gave him some good answers. And I like the mind of Spencer Rattler. I know he has the talent, but I don't want to heap too much on Spencer Rattler right now. Spencer Rattler is just a backup rookie quarterback right now. He's just a backup rookie. I mean, a lot of people really don't like Derek Carr. That's what it appears like to me. And the thing is, I think Derek Carr is okay if you use him the right way. That's how I see Derek Carr. I don't see Derek Carr as a quarterback you tell to go out there and win me a game in a system that he's not familiar with. You're asking for problems. And the Saints did that several times last year, and the man didn't know enough of the system to be able to do that. He became check down Charlie. He didn't want to make any mistakes sometimes. And like we talked about this, and one of the family made mention, say, Q, sometimes he was faking like he was looking left. And then he would throw. I was like, faking? And I look at the tape. He's pretending to go through his rotations. Like, how did one pretend to go through their rotations? He just look, and then, are you really looking at what you're looking at? You're processing what you're looking at. And that's what I was saying. It's like he operated in many games without a running attack, and he didn't know a lot of the offense. Then he was trying to be a leader and try to fuss and yell at people and cover up for his own errors and mistakes. And I know exactly what he was doing the whole damn time. It was all fake and fraudulent. Then he got up to the podium and talked about he tells the truth, and we got the answers in the building. And then the reporters ask him, well, what's the answer? We can't tell you. The answer's in the building, though. And then they go out the next game and lose it. So, I mean, like, bro, just if you don't know, just say you don't know. And then the way they were practicing, then it started coming out about how the practices were, how they wasn't really. It's just that has to all change. So the only changing element that I can hang my hat on is Clint Kubiak. That's all I can do. Like you say, Q, what changes here? I don't think Dennis Allen, and listen to me on this. A lot of people say, Q, you don't like Dennis Allen. I don't like Dennis Allen. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like coaches that backstab their team and throw them under the bus. I don't like that. I didn't like the apologizing to Atlanta. That was too much. You throw them under the bus and then you apologize no. And I don't care if Arthur Smith was mad at you for doing that and whatever. Ain't no damn man gonna walk up to me cussing at me and saying shit like that. And the way Dennis Allen handled it was totally weak. He's a weak coach. And that was just a bad look for us that he then comes out and blabs to the world that they did that. They did that. I didn't tell them to do that. They did that on their own. The guy has the right to be mad. So I apologize to him. The team wasn't supposed to run a play without your approval, but you most certainly wasn't supposed to out them out to the entire world and then apologize to the damn coach. And then you holding the man's stomach as he cussing at you. Dude, man, dog, I don't care. That man ain't supposed to be cussing at you, fool. Your response to that was like, and Darren Rizzi was like, Darren Rizzi should have been the coach. The special team coach. I know Darren Rizzi's Italian. He ain't gonna play that shit. Hell, I'm half Italian. I'm not Italian, man. Let me tell you something. The one thing about Italian people, they passionate, especially Black Italians in general. We're passionate. We love our food, and we're very passionate. We're very passionate. And Darren Rizzi was acting like the head coach. He was fussing at Arthur Smith. He was fussing at him. He was giving him, and Dennis Allen, milquetoast, garbage, weak, flimsy. He got up there, apologizing, grabbing the man's stomach and all. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? The man cussing at you. Tell him to his face, well, try to stop us, MFer. Next time, do a better job. Coach better. Stop us next time. I'm not supposed to give you any mercy. This is not, this is not, whatever. I'm not supposed to give you any quarter. This is a competition. I'm supposed to beat your head in. If you was doing this to me, you would tell me the same thing. Well, stop me next time. Be smart about it. Stop me. Darren Rizzi was fussing and complaining to him and going back at Arthur Smith, talking shit to him while Dennis Allen apologizing to him. Now, ain't no way in the world, man. That was a bad look on many levels. Especially you sitting up there letting the Falcon head coach cuss at you. The Falcons? You let the Falcons head coach cuss at you, and then you apologize for winning the game the way you won it. I'm not apologizing to winning no game, man. I'm not apologizing because it's a dog-eat-dog world in the NFL. It's either win or go home. You either win or get fired. That's how it goes. Well, everywhere else, maybe not the Saints. But in the end, that was a bad look, man. That was a horrible look. So one of the most atrocious things that I can say about Dennis Allen, besides the backstabbing he did with Jameis and this other weird-ass shit that he did, when he did that thing apologizing to them and all this that was That was a horrible, stinking look. And I just lost all respect to him because that's not how the leader of my football team behaves. He doesn't behave in that manner. He doesn't apologize for kicking your teeth in the NFL. And if the guy wouldn't apologize if he kicking your goddamn teeth in. But you apologize to him and throw your own team under the bus. Lattimore sees it, doesn't like it. Like, man, you seen what this dude did? You seen what this guy did? Clowns, man, clowns. And then what Mickey Loomis don't say nothing about it. He don't see no problem with it. Well, Dennis did the right thing. They were wrong. They should have not run the play. Well, what do you think about how Dennis handled handled him not running the play or running the play? How did you think he handled it? Well, he handled it correctly. You know, he's a gentleman. He apologized to them. You know, he apologized, and that's how gentlemen do. They're, you know, and they apologize, and what about the Atlanta Falcons? People hate the Atlanta Falcons. We're the Saints. We don't like the Atlanta Falcons. You're not supposed to apologize. Well, hold on now. You're being rude. We're gentlemen here. We're Saints. You're forgetting who you are, Big Q. You're the Saints. You're supposed to have love and happiness and forgiveness. You're not following the Saints' tenets. You're not being saintly, Big Q. No, this is football. We in that church. Yeah. Hell, we're not at church, Mickey Lomas. We're playing a football game, man. What you talking about? Well, I know the difference. No, you don't. You don't apologize. Ain't no apologizing there. You stop me if you don't like it. You stop me. Stop me. That's what should have been the thing. Okay, you don't like it, then stop me then, Arthur Smith. Tell your zombie ass owner to hire a better coach. Hire that next time. Have a better strategy. But I'm not apologizing to you for winning. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do that if the shoes was on the other foot, man. Cut it out. This dude did that, and they didn't like that. The players like Laddie Daddy and others didn't like that. That was weak. That was very weak. And then Mickey Loomis protects him. Oh, well, he's a true gentleman. He's the epitome of what a saint person's supposed to be. He's kind, and I'm a shut up. Shut up. That's why the Saints losing every year, man. To weakness, flimsiness like this. This is a football team, man. not a book club, man. Not a sweating knitting contest. We're a football team. Supposed to be physical. Lord help us, man. Lord help us. But anyway, man, listen, man. Let me get a couple of these out of the chat, man. Then I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I'm gonna go ahead on and simmer down. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So big ups to y'all. Got any questions? I know I said that about 20 minutes ago, but just in case, just letting y'all know. Shout out to you, Tasha. Thank you for that. All right. Anyway, let me see what the family got to throw up. Y'all got any questions? And I'm just trying to look in the chat. Brother Rowe, what's up? Rowe says that Bond interception didn't fumble through the game off against the Texans. And the thing is also and I mentioned the Clint Kubiak factor. Let's just call it that. The Clint Kubiak factor. The Clint Kubiak factor is all I can hang my hat on going into the season. That's all I got because I don't have faith in Mickey Loomis. I don't have faith in Dennis Allen because of all of the aforementioned things that I cannot go back into. All I can hang my hat on is Clint Kubiak. And I'm putting a lot on Clint Kubiak, which means we're looking for Clint Kubiak to not only establish an identity for the Saints offense. Let me just see if I can name all of the things that Clint Kubiak has to do for the Saints offensively to have some success, right, fam? Let's name some of those things. Number one, he has to establish an identity for the Saints offense. Number two, he has to establish who the Saints offensive line is going to be, right? With John Benton. He has to figure out who those 5 guys are going to be, what position they'll play, which should probably be easier than establishing the identity, but making sure he has the right collection of 5 players to run that aforementioned system, right? He does have the running backs. He does have Elvin Kamara. He has Jamal Williams. He has Kendre Miller. He has Taysom Hill. He could throw Taysom in that mix. He does have a good tight end in Juwan Johnson and a complement tight end in Foster Monroe. He does have really good wide receivers in Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. A.T. Perry is a guy that I'm really counting on. Hopefully he'll step up and kind of take that third spot from Cedric Wilson, who's the veteran of the group. So he does have some good players, offensively speaking, on that side of the ball. But he will be tasked in trying to figure out what he needs to do to get that together. Like, that's a lot to put on him. And we're not even talking about once he gets those players together, then he would have to then put in his disciplinarian style that they'll have to get accustomed to. And that means penalizing players that false start, that's involved in all these undisciplined pre-snap penalties that hurt the New Orleans Saints last year. He has to totally change that culture on that side of the ball. Then that ties into accountability. How accountable is Clint Kubiak? We need a very high degree of accountability. How is the pace going to be at practices? Because the practices have to change. They can't be what they were last year. And in previous pressers, when I played here on the Sports Coma about Clint Kubiak, remember Clint Kubiak says he liked to run high stress practices. High stress practices is when he throws a bunch of stuff at them and have everybody going a mile a minute, just putting a lot of pressure on them guys. So when game day come around, it's a walk in the park. So every practice is supposed to be highly stressed. Is that philosophy going to continue with the New Orleans Saints? Remember, he talked about that in a previous stop. Is that what's going to happen for the Saints? Because all of that is a part of it. They need all of that. And then the accountability ties into one of the top players on the team, offensively speaking, $150 million man himself, keeping him accountable. Now, he said that they want to run the ball against 8-man fronts. When they were talking about the offense, the first questions they were asking about him, he said running it. And I agree. Don't go at asking Derek Carr to do nothing unless it's in a play action role. Run the ball, and you got to get that offensive line together. So, my goodness, and then you couple that with the fact that he has to do this in 1 year to turn all of that around, because everybody's jobs are riding on the fact that he has to change the offense around. So it's a pressure factor involved where everybody has to learn a new system and then learn the system and win while they're learning the system. Boy, I tell you, it's a lot going on there. It's a lot going on. All right. Barbara says he was more concerned with his completion percentage than anything else. Thank you, brother Claude. Shout out to you, brother. He said, hit the like button, people, if you please. Carr was shook, but the way it was going, he says, was going behind about 17 points, should have had way more than that. But the 3 and outs cost him, which is bad coaching and bad play calling. Thank you, Millie Two-Wheel. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. All right. Yeah, brother. Slim said, especially against, no, you don't apologize to no Falcons, man. You don't apologize to no Falcons, man. No. We're not apologizing to the Falcons. What are we doing here? No, it's no apology. If they ran the play, that's on. I'll take responsibility. If I'm the coach, I'll take responsibility. If they ran that play, first of all, if I was the coach, I'd tell them, go ahead on and get that touchdown, man. Yeah, do that for Jamal. I'm the cool coach. Man, go get that. Go get that. I wouldn't have told him, nah, just come on off the field. We ran up to score enough. It's too many points. And remember, Tyrann Mathieu had picked that ball off and then purposely ran out of juice and not scored the ball and went down. He was waiting for people. And the commentator was saying, where is he slowing down for? Because he didn't want to score. Then the guy asked him at the end of the game in the press conference. He says, what, did you run out of juice? Yeah, we're going to go with that. No. He didn't want to score. I said it when I was doing the live broadcast. I said, look at Tyrann Mathieu purposely slowing down to see if somebody can catch him. And then he falls short at the 1 yard line. What defensive back that I won't get a touchdown? He didn't want to run the score up. That's what happened. He didn't want to run the score up. But the discipline in him not wanting to get a touchdown, because every defensive back, when they get the pick, they taking it to the house. So for the discipline for that guy to say, nah, we're going to fall. I'm going to just fall down. I'm going to get, stop at the 1 yard line and not score a touchdown. That takes a lot of discipline. That's a very interesting dynamic, come to think about it. Very interesting. Might need to think about that some more. Very interesting. Every defensive back, when they get a thing on Clint Kubiak, and I just said it, that's the main thing. The main thing is all about him, because I don't have any faith in Dennis Allen or Mickey Loomis, man. I've exposed these people as weaklings, and they're perpetrating the fraud. Mickey Loomis is out of his timeline in terms of being a general manager, and we should have Kai Hartley in that position. He doesn't want to give up the general manager position. Somebody needs to force him out of that job because he's not doing very good at it. Over the last several years, the draft picks haven't been all of that. The player contracts have been ridiculous. This Carr contract was ridiculous. It untied the Saints up for several years. And it's just, we couldn't afford Derek Carr. We couldn't afford him. And this funny money deals, the kicking of the cans. Now we need to relieve him of his duties of a general manager. We ain't going to be letting him live off of a Super Bowl ring that he got well over a decade ago. It's been more than what? I mean, it's been over a decade. When was that? When was that? When did we win the crown? How long has it been since the Saints had it? What year was that again? I forget. It's been so long ago. Has it been a decade? Feel like a damn decade. All right, it's been a long ass time, by the way, man. I just listen, man. One hit a quitter to the dome. But yeah, it's all on Clint Kubiak, man. That's what I'm watching for. The biggest thing is, what does Clint Kubiak do? That's what it comes down to. Can he do these things that we've seen him do in previous stops? Could he do that? And that's what I'm looking at. It's all on him. It's all on him. Millie says, "Hey, Q, when you going to start popping up on the Panthers podcast, they be asking where the Saints fans said holla at Unk 2020. I heard of that guy. I usually mess with my dogs, Dave and Rashad from the PNP camp, man. But if Unk want to talk some black and gold about the Saints, tell him hit the comb up, man. I talk at him. Duke says, I agree, Q, and he has that salvage Trevor Penning. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of stuff going on with the Saints, man. Because Trevor Penning was benched as an active player. He wasn't hurt. They benched him as far as you can go down as an active offensive lineman. They were bringing in people off the practice squad like Cam Irvin to play at the right tackle position or something like that. I'm like, what? And he was complaining. And that was that was weeks before he started complaining about having confidence issues. He told a reporter that. And I'm like, what? Somebody got to talk to the man. Something got to be done. I don't like to hear my first round draft pick offensive lineman talk about confidence issue. And he was so bad that they benched him and he never came back as a starter. And I was like, wow. So how does a guy like that recover from a terrible season like that? How do you recover? How do you recover from that? Because I'm pretty sure Penning, with all the fanfare he had coming up in here. And remember, his thing was confidence is a major part of Trevor Penning's game. Remember when he first came, I always mention this, when Trevor Penning came to the Saints, remember he was mauling out the veterans, pushing them down, pushing them after the whistle, pancaking them, and they were getting into fights and all that stuff with him. That turned when all that went away after the first year. And then he's whatever this guy is now. We need him to play with that again, but more discipline. We need that confidence, because we need that line to take on that type of mentality. And Trevor Penning, what is he without that confidence? What is he without the confidence that he had when he first came here? That he was known to be a nasty offensive tackle that'd be pushing you out, pancaking you, and all this kind of stuff. What is he without that? That's a big part of the mental game right there. That's why I was saying that if the Saints were intelligent, they wouldn't put him at the left tackle position. They'll have a position reset for him, which means they don't put him at left tackle where he experienced the trauma. They move him to the right side. Let Fuaga operate that. Let Fuaga play that side. You see what I'm saying? Because you're dealing with confidence issues. That's coming from up here. So instead of making him relive the trauma of failing at the left tackle position, why would I do that to you? That was a traumatic issue with Trevor Penning. And that was weeks before he mentioned that was weeks after he mentioned the confidence thing. He was struggling, but then the benching So I would not do that to Penning. I would put him at the right tackle position because I think he could play that position and let somebody else at the left tackle position. I'll let Fuaga do that. Fuaga has a good mentality. Let him get in there and operate that side. But I would not do that to Trevor Penning. I wouldn't say, listen, we're going to try you out at left tackle again. I'm like, no, don't. That was traumatic. Don't put him over there. Put him on the opposite side. Let him have a mental reset. That's what I've been doing. This is a big part of the game, man. All right, Richard says the front office is not acting like jobs on the line. I think it would take an utter disaster for Loomis to make any changes. Kubiak will have 2 years. We just have to deal with. Well, the thing is, I don't know if he has 2 years, fam. I think it's 1 year, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Saints and Mickey Loomis understands this and knows that it's only so long he could protect Dennis Allen. If the Saints don't make the playoffs this upcoming year, Dennis Allen will get fired. I promise you that much. I promise you that much. And people saying, well, Clint Kubiak will be the guy to replace him. Listen, fam. Whoever's going to be the next Saint after Dennis Allen gets fired needs to be a head coach with experience at a successful experience as a head coach, won something, and has an offensive mindset that can take the piece that's left on the team and do it, because the Saints have wasted away their window dealing with Dennis Allen and this foolishness. You don't have to see. It's not just appeasing us. The players are getting radically old on the team. You only have 2 years of DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, Tyrann Mathieu before those guys are off the team. And the Saints are counting on those veterans to compete, to keep them at a high level. What is this team without DeMario? What is this team without Tyrann Mathieu? What is this team? Well, Cam, you might make a point because he's in a reserve role. But what is this team without those players? I'm telling you straight off the top, the Saints defense is not very good without DeMario Davis. They're not. There is not one player on this team. Maybe Willie Gay could pick it up, but there's not one person on this team that I feel comfortable about that can replace DeMario Davis. What he doing? And even though DeMario is not half as fast as he used to be laterally, but in the end, his brains and lining up the defense, getting people to understand this type of stuff, that's a whole nother world. Now, DeMario didn't look good last year because, hey, it's not just DeMario Davis. The interior defensive line for the Saints defensive line have to keep DeMario Davis clean. They have to occupy those offensive linemen. You can't let if you're an interior defensive lineman, you can't allow one guy to block you. It got to take the 2 guys on the inside to block you, the center, and these guards and these people. They have to occupy those guys so that they never get to the next level, so DeMario Davis can play clean, that he can blitz or drop into coverage or do what he got to do. But the moment one of these offensive linemen get past a defensive guy that's supposed to be occupying him and puts his mitts on DeMario, that running back coming through there, and DeMario not going to be able to get him because he can't go through the body of an offensive lineman to get to the running back. I mean, the defense, that's what the big part of the Saints defense, interior defense, they got to keep the linebackers clean so they can play the way they need to play. So, yeah, that's why I was saying the window is vastly wasting away, and you can't allow that to happen with Dennis Allen. You've given Dennis Allen 3 years. In any NFL environment, there's a high standard to win. And if most coaches get fired after 1 year, like what Carolina did. Dennis Allen is being blessed with 3 years, and they're trying to say 9-8. 9-8 don't mean nothing to us unless it came with a playoff. You're an older team. 9-8 is not good for an older team that's supposed to be in the playoffs over the last 2-3 years. You're supposed to be in the playoffs every year since the last year Sean Payton year was supposed to be a playoff year, and then the 2 with Dennis Allen was supposed to be playoff years because you had a loaded team. Each team was supposed to be better than the last. So a 9-8 mark is not something to go and prattle on the back like it was a success when you're sitting there watching the playoffs and not participating in them. That's not how this goes. Reddit says, Q, Saints will not trade Laddie Daddy. Got kool-aid for just in case someone get hurt like Rattler pick. He's the future. Who that? All right. Thank you, Reginald. Appreciate you, bro. All right. 504 Coast says, Q, do you see us competing for a Super Bowl in the next 10 years? That's very hard to say, bro. Very hard to say, because I don't think the Saints have a Super Bowl vision. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they don't have any leadership in the top brass. And it has been, listen, let me be honest with you, man. And I'm a diehard for both these clubs. I do shows on them, for years. The Pelican Post Game Report, I keeps it real on there like I keep it real here on the Sports Coma. I cover this stuff for years. Y'all know. Y'all been listening to me for years. The Saints, I'm a diehard black and gold man. I'm a diehard Pelican guy. But it hurts me to say that the organizations don't see championships when they talk about the Saints and the Pelicans. They don't see championships. They are trying to make money, and making money is cool when you do what you're supposed to do. See, it is a bad look if you're trying to make money off of the people, but you're not giving the people the type of team that they deserve. A loyal family base like the Saints and the Pelicans deserve a better team than what these people have put out before us. They don't need to hear lies and propaganda garbage because that insults our intelligence, and then I go off on your ass. I'm just keeping it real. The Saints, I can't see the Saints winning the Super Bowl, family. I'm gonna be honest with you, in the next 3, 4, or 5 years, because the reality is, if whatever chance the Saints had to do something about, they are letting it go away. The head coach is the guy doesn't have the attributes needed to take you there. And the team in most cases will not win despite the coach. Listen to me, that's not a definite, because I don't want to deal with being definite. But what I'm saying is, in most cases, and the majority of the time, the team will not win despite the coach, which means the coach has to have the vision to give to the players. The players got to buy into the vision, and the general manager got to participate in the vision to get the players, to make the right draft picks, to make the contracts work so they don't hamstrung the team. And then he has to take all this talent and put it together and lead the team forward. The problem with us now is we don't have that type of coach. We don't have an accountable general manager. We got a guy who think he can do anything he wants, and he really can, because Dennis Lucia is not checking for him. He's not evaluating him. They're not evaluating Mickey Loomis. They're not evaluating what he's doing. They're not. They just leave him alone because they're making money. That's why I was telling the family, don't buy their bullshit. Don't buy their gear. Let them know that you need to make some changes up there. You need to make changes in the building. You need to take the job, or wrestle the job away from Mickey Loomis and give it to Kai Hartley. Give it to the young brother. Let him go. And I promise you, he'll do evaluations in season, off season, on the moon, whatever you got, he'll do it. But I don't see Super Bowl with the Saints for the next 10 years because I don't see it. I wish I can say that. I don't see a Super Bowl for the Saints over the next 10 years. And it really, I can't see past the next 3 years, to be honest, which I can't even get to 10, because I really do. It is, the year is all based on Clint Kubiak and what he can do with the Saints offense. And to be truthful with you, if I can say this, I'm gonna say this and jump off that point right quick, because this will be a topic for another day, is that I don't think they gave Clint Kubiak nearly enough help offensively from an offensive line standpoint to help him out. Me personally, if the Saints, whatever money the Saints had early, they should have tried to go after and see if they could find some veteran help along with the young talent help on the offensive line. I think we should have did, no disrespect to Aliudo, but we should have went out there and see if we could find an offensive lineman that's better than the Aliudo, that has a bigger resume than Aliudo. We could have found a blindside tackle. They had a bunch of them out there. The Saints just let everybody go, and we're going to just draft some guys. The only problem with that is young players they got to learn the system. They got to learn the game. There's an inexperience factor that you got to account for. I just don't think they gave Clint Kubiak all of the resources they could. Look what they did for the defense and not for the offense. Think about it. They get Chase Daniels, Willie Gay. They get all Will Harris. What is the equivalent for? I put it to you like this: who is the equivalent in signing for a Chase? I say Chase Daniels. Chase, y'all know him. Chase Young. I'll say Chase Daniels. Chase Young. Who's the equivalent for Chase Young on the Saints offense? On the Saints offensive line. We talk a defense, offense. Who's the free agent equivalent for Chase Young on the Saints offense? Who's the equivalent for Willie Gay on the Saints offense? You see what I'm getting at? There are none, because a lot of resources went to the defense versus the offense. And perhaps the Saints know that the offense is going to take a while to get going, so the defense is going to have to step up and really play hard. I can get that aspect if that's where you're approaching it from. I don't think they're approaching it from that. So I don't see Super Bowl, bro. And I can't see past 3 years, to be honest with you, bro, because it depends on what they do at the general manager position, what kind of coach they get. And Mickey Loomis has shown me that he's incompetent, that he has a flawed evaluation style. Nobody looks at Dennis Allen and said Dennis Allen is a hell of a coach. Nobody do that. Nobody. He's doing that because he don't want people to see that he had something flawed going on. And any man could be wrong. Just admit you're wrong and move in a different direction, bro. The guys who it's just stupid, man. Stupid, egotistical bastards, man. That's what this all comes down to. Jason, I can't wait to see the rally in the preseason games. All right, Jamal says Unc doesn't want to have a decent convo with no Saints fan. Okay. Billy says, just trying to get something started. All right. Debbie says, good evening. What's up, Debbie? Shout out to you. Rose says, next coach gonna need Cajones, something Cajones or Cajones? Cajones. Okay, Cajones, yes. Something DA don't have. He got a mangina. Wow. All right, brother James, how you doing, bro? Say a slow rebuild is still a rebuild. Q. We're doing that for years now. It's hard, but most of us have to understand this is basically a rebuild year. Don't expect much Don't expect much be football realistic and logical. Yeah, well, I try to be that, bro. And I told the family members, man, I was like, listen, fam, y'all are you're in a mini dark area right now. The Saints haven't made the playoffs in 3 years. They hadn't made the playoffs in 3 years. They say that we're a year off. They're selling hopium. The Saints, and then last year, Dennis Allen had an opportunity to win 2 or 3 more games than what he had. The reason why they didn't win is because of him. He was supposed to change things around. He had the power, and he didn't do anything. He let everything stay the same. He didn't go over there and force nobody to change nothing. Mickey Loomis sitting up on his ass didn't force nobody to change. There was nobody put no pressure on nobody because Mickey Loomis felt like that he'll leave him alone because that's his coach. His general manager style is to not peek over your shoulder. But you got an inexperienced guy who hadn't won anything. You need to peek over his shoulder. You can't give him the Sean Payton treatment. And I thought Mickey Loomis was smarter than that, but he wasn't. He left the man alone. The man failed. But yeah, I've recognized it, brother James. This is a dark period for the Saints. Saints ain't been in the playoffs in 3 years, man. Then they keep talking about we just needed one more win. And no, man, come on. It's just what it is. I agree with you, bro. All right. Yeah, it's real. I don't see Super Bowl for the Pelicans too. I don't see it for the Pelicans too. I looked over the Pelicans' history, man. And for a long time, the Pelicans had sorry ass leadership. If you want a serious organization, go out and get serious people that have a track record of success. That is very easy to do. Corporations do that all the time. They fire bad executives and go and get good ones, smart ones, innovative ones. They're out there. That's what teams do. The Saints are not bringing in any innovative people to the system. They got Mickey Loomis sitting up there for 20-something odd years, hadn't been in the playoffs in 3 years, hires a guy with no winning track record at all to be the head coach because Sean Payton told him to. And we're surprised. I'm not surprised by the results. I knew that to get the type of success, you need a certain type of mentality and mindset at that level. And that man is not cut from that cloth. He's not. And that's not a disrespect to him. He just isn't. He's not cut like that, like Draymond would say. And the Pelicans, back to them. The Pelicans have been a joke franchise for a very long time. They have a playoff win, and then they'll miss out on the playoff about a year or two. Then they come back with play. That's ridiculous, man. It's just not hard if you hire the right people to come in there and do their jobs. The problem is when you got ownership that don't know nothing about the sports that they're making tens of billions of dollars off of. That's a problem. And if you don't know, don't sit up here and rely on people that's been there all the time because they're just going to play you. It's just you have hire, and I said this, Gail Benson needs to do 2 things. She need to hire an independent person who's not a part of the Saints circle or culture that's outside. This person is a person that used to be a player and that has exec experience similar to a John Lynch that you hire and bring into the team and that person reports directly to you. They give you the game on what's going on with that side of the team and everything what's going on with that team. They go and talk to certain people, and then that person will give you their take on what's going on, and that's how you keep it honest. That's how you keep it. Because Gail don't know, you can't have Gail. If Gail's the owner, the guy that's the president has got to know about both sports. He can't be a guy that don't know football or basketball, and then he's the president, and then you hire a vice president. Is David Griffin for the Pelicans and Mickey Loomis for the Saints. And these guys, and Mickey Loomis is way too old to be doing the general manager job. He's been failing for years. They got a young assistant general manager, and he has Mickey Loomis has no temptation or desire to step away from the general manager position. That's when Lucia is supposed to be getting involved. But he's not getting involved because he doesn't evaluate the guy. Why? Because the Saints are making money. Why I need to evaluate? Mickey's doing a great job. He said that in the fucking interview. Excuse my French. He said that earlier. I played him on here. Mickey's doing a great job. How is he doing a great job and you missing 3 straight years of not getting in the playoffs? Explain that to me. What are you talking about, man? The Saints missed 3 years of playoffs. What are you talking about? He's doing a great job. He ain't talking about wins. He's talking about money. They're keeping the money coming. And that's what they care about. They don't care about no winning. Winning is a side effect to these people. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. I came to that realization some time ago, that winning is a side effect to the money. You see, the perfect equation is you win, you get paid. That's how it works. Everybody's happy. But people are not happy if you're losing and not winning but getting paid. That's a violation. That's not supposed to happen, because you're getting what you want, but we're not getting what we want. And then when we say we're not getting what we want, you're a negative nanny. You're a negative noise. You guys are, you don't not qualified. You're negative. So you're getting the money. We're not getting anything. And I'm not supposed to say something about it. Okay, so since we can't get what we want, guess what? You can't get what you want. That's how this go here. Until you want to flip the script. That's how this go. I'm talking truth talk, man. Don't go down there and get them people that shit. That's terrible, man. They are disrespecting us on both levels with both of these teams. The Pelicans 49 wins, and David Griffin listens to the Pelican post-game report. I know he does, because everything we say on the show, they go out and do it. I mean, that either makes me a guy with a crystal ball, a warlock, or it makes him a listener. And I'm not a warlock, which would mean they listening, and they do listen. You ain't gonna be up here for years talking this, and people are like, "Hey, you heard this dude?" Because nobody don't talk like I talk, man. That's how I've been talking like this for years. I'm fair. I'm fair. Listen, I want you to bank out, but you got to win. You got to represent us right. I'm not going to give you money for failure. No, we done with that. We done with that. You're abusing it. Right. Richard says, now they handle offense. The offense season tells me that all I need to is no real additions. How it's supposed to improve with no new talent. They have new people there, but the only thing is there's a lot to turn around there. Shout out to you, Farouk. Anthony says, I'm hearing what you're saying, but the division is still weak and we have enough talent to lead the division. All right. Thank you, Anthony. Trey says, just keep doing what you're doing. Yes, indeed. Richard says they need Bub Means to be quiet 2.0 and undersized, undrafted free agent, tight end to have a great. Yeah, I think those guys contribute, man. I really do. I like those young players. Jace 5 says the choice of bad coach hinders young players' development. It's just the guys he don't pay attention to details enough, fam. And you need that to win. I'm just keeping it real. Shout out to you, Neville. Jay Survive says trading Ladd is a mistake. Dude, just go to work and handle business, even how hard the defense is playing. Like I said, I don't want him to trade Marshon Lattimore. I think it's a bad idea. But listen to what they're saying. You got a timeline. Listen to the show earlier. I've given people a timeline. June 1st to the start of the season. And the money in the contract was set up last year during the season, late during the season. They restructured that contract. I think it was November-ish, somewhere along in there, when they restructured the contract, where it's not a signing options option. A signing options option, like if they trade him, the other team acquires his contract. The contract is set up to make him easily to be traded. And if he stays on the team for 2025, that works against them. So they set up the contract in a way to get him up out of here. Then they get money from this year, which is $4 million. If they trade him this year between the timeline, they get $4 million this year and almost, 10-something million next year. So altogether, they get like 14, 15 million over the next 2 years toward the cap. You see? And plus, they drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry in the second round. So if they trade Marshon Lattimore, everybody just goes up a ring. Everybody goes up a rung. They trade Lattimore out there, probably get a second round pick for him or something like that, because that's what they're looking for. And Mickey Loomis told you himself that they're not actively looking to, I played the interview, they're not actively looking to trade Marshon Lattimore. But active, like I explained, active means that they're not soliciting, they're not going out soliciting calls saying, hey man, you want Lattimore, it's going to cost you a second rounder. But they are taking calls. They're being solicited too. That's what actively mean. We're not going out. We're not actively looking to trade Marshon Lattimore. He's a part of the team. But the forked tongue, Mickey Loomis is saying, what about non-active? If somebody says active, and I'm sitting there and you say that to me, I'm gonna say, okay, how about non-active? Are you non-actively trying to trade him? Which means what I said it means, which is what it is. The contract, everything lines up. The contract, the money, all of it lines up for him to be traded, fam. So don't be surprised between now and the start of the season that Marshon Lattimore, we'll see what happens. It's a sad sight. And remember why all of this is happening. Don't y'all dare forget reason why all this is happening. It's happening because Marshon Lattimore has lost faith in Dennis Allen with all this stupid ass losing and all this really weird ass behaviors that he's doing on the team. That is the reason why Laddie Daddy is, the trade situation is occurring. That is really what's going on here. So we're going to trade him up out of here. And then ultimately Dennis Allen going to end up getting fired anyway. I don't trade Marshon Lattimore to appease Dennis Allen. Marshon Lattimore to me is more valuable than Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen hadn't done anything. We could find another Dennis Allen. It'll take a while for you to get a top 5 cornerback in the NFL if you're fortunate to find one. Just keeping it real. If we talking about value to the team, then I can find another Dennis Allen. I'm keeping it $1.15 on that. 504 says we got natural light in the dome. Yeah, you do. You do got some natural light. And you can see all the stankiness for yourself. Arvin says the organization got to win a Super Bowl for me to stop hating Gail and Mickey. Gail don't know. Gail was given a team. She don't know football. I ain't gonna say she don't know it, but she don't know it at the level where she's supposed to know, right? Which is why she's relying on those guys. She relying on all these guys. And they just, listen, man, they just robbing her. They're just robbing her. Because Mickey Loomis sitting up there like he the owner of the team. Mickey Loomis acts like he's the owner of the team. He talking elite. He's just a worker. He's just a worker. He acting like he the owner of the team. And that's not even supposed to be the case. You're not going to sit up here and say you're going to keep the general manager position in a headlock and y'all let it go. I might be the general manager for the next 10 years. Didn't remember he said that? Man, I got to put together a collection of Mickey Loomis' dumbest things he ever said. And it was all in the same season last year. I might hold on to the job for 10 years. And remember, we was kicking that out there to the point where the media took it to him. Y'all remember that? Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. Because we was pushing Mickey Loomis needs to be giving up the general manager, need to give it to Harley so hard. The media asked him about it. I think Kate Terrell asked him about it. That's just something somebody said out there. That was just something. That's just something they made up out there. I'm not going anywhere. I might retire in 10 years. What? No. That Dennis Lucia said to say right after that was over with, had to call Mickey Loomis on the phone. Say, hold on, Mickey, listen. Let me tell you something, man. We appreciate the work you've been doing here, but listen, the last 3 years, listen, I just was listening to the radio. I drove to work, man, right? And as I was turning on the radio, I was listening to something. I heard a song by a singer. Her name was Janet Jackson. It was an old school song that said, "What have you done for me lately?" And that brought me to thinking, what have you done for me lately? Well, I cook a mean clam chowder. Last 3 years haven't been good, but listen, sky's the limit. Just keep believing. You just keep your head up. No, man, no platitudes, bro. What have you done for us lately? You haven't done anything, man. You can't keep relying on a Super Bowl trophy that we won, I don't know how many years ago, man. What's up, Jay Black? My dog Jay Black says back to that. Yeah, and that sucks, bro. Carr will be all right as long as he's good offensive line, but he can't win a Super Bowl. He doesn't have the it mentality when it comes to playoffs. I think the best version of Derek Carr is play action Carr. We seen that late last year. That's play action Carr operating off the play action. He can do that. But in order to do that, you got to run the ball. I keep saying play action Carr, fam. Play action Carr. Jace Fox says, I hope he goes to Houston on another playoff team. Oh, you talking about Michael Thomas? Nothing on Michael Thomas, bro, yet. Nothing on him. All right. Richard says, if they get a second for Lat and every pick next year, this draft hits, so we can climb out. Also, Lat is the greatest cornerback in Saint history. I agree with you on that. Lattimore is the best cornerback in Saints history, and he's still in his prime. Isn't that amazing? The dumbest thing in the world the Saints would do was to trade Lattimore, who has a problem with the losing of Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is losing. He lost a lot of these players, and this is what they were talking about with fractures in the locker room. Lattimore represents the biggest one of those people who lost faith. That's why they're trying to trade him. Stupid people, man. Stupid people. That's why I'm saying the guy don't need to be. You don't need to be the general manager. Nobody trades a top 5 cornerback because he's disgruntled with a losing ass coach who's gonna get fired anyway if the team loses this year. It's just stupid people, man. Stupid ass people. And they won't wonder why all these other teams running laps around the Saints. Because the Saints don't care about winning, man. The Saints care about making money. They fitted up the dome, did all that shit with 400, $500 million worth of renovation that came from you, of course. You the one paid for the lights and the escalators and all the new concession stands so they could sell you that $25 nacho and that $15 bill and all that BS so they can make more money off your ass while they sit up there losing. But come on down, Saints family members, come on down and give us your money, your hard-earned money, and keep making Gail a billionaire every year from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. Every year she make $1 billion more. And the team not doing a damn thing. Missing the playoffs. The other team, the Pelicans, won 49 games and got ran out. They got swept badly in the first round. No guts, no glory, no nothing. Nothing. No fight, no nothing. But come on down and give me your money. No, bro. No, man. Enough is enough, man. We done gave these people enough money, man. We've done enough. You can't ask me to do no more than what we've been doing. I've spent money on the Saints, a lot of money on the Saints. They got to respect my goddamn mind. If I sit up here and say, listen, man, the only way I'm giving you money is if you win. That should be your number one priority coming out of here. It's not to bank out and make money. That's why I've been saying for a long time that these people got fat and rich and happy. And that's the problem. They've lost sight of winning. To the point where if you're a really good team, you would move heaven and hell to become a competitive team. You would make trades. You would operate like you the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles make trade. They trade for players. They do all this kind of stuff. They go in there. They try to do. You see what I'm saying? They go out and they're in free agency, actively in free agency, trying to get players. They're trying to show you that they're trying to improve their team. That's not the Saints' posture. The Saints don't act like a team that's trying to go and trade and be aggressive out there. They're not doing that. Why? Because they sell you on the fact that, hey, guess what? Listen, y'all just come on down to the dome and we'll just do the best we can. And if we lose, and I just tell you, hey, man, we gave it a hell of an effort. They was just a better team. Enough. You can't ask me to support or go any further, man. I'm done giving you support. You got to put a better product on the field. I ain't talking about after 6 or 7 weeks. I'm talking about 9 weeks, 8, 9 weeks. Show me that you are a winning organization and that you figured out what you're doing and you're taking it serious. And that Mickey Loomis is actually doing in-season evaluations. Come on, man. The stuff is not hard. The Pelicans is the same crap with the Pelicans. We get new coaches, and they're stubborn. Willie don't want to change up his philosophy. When the defense is not working, when the offense is not working, he doubles down on the defense. When the defense is not working, he double down again. Don't have no alternate philosophies or strategy to switch out to. With everything is just this, that, and the dirt, and got 7-footers on the team, and he using a 6'7" guy to guard a 7'2" guy. Like what? What are we doing here? You got 2 7-footers. That's 2 bodies. Throw them at that dude. Slow him down. Do something. offensive players on the bench that can shoot threes, but he got the defensive guys. And I'm like, this dude here, man, where do we get these people from? And why can't we go out and go find a coach that has a championship pedigree, like what's your boy that used to be with the Milwaukee Bucks they got rid of? Why can't we get him? This whole last period of time, this free agency period that passed, you had a bunch of coaches, really good, legendary coaches that was a part of the hiring process. Harbaugh finally left Michigan. He was up there for years, and he finally said, "You know what? I won my championship. I did what I was supposed to do. I'm going to the NFL." Harbaugh finally said it, and we wasn't even in the conversation to even talk to him. We sit up here with Dennis Allen, and Harbaugh was out there. We didn't even say, "You know what, man? The hell with Dennis Allen. That's Harbaugh over there. Let's go get him. Let's talk to him." Nope. Sitting up, I'm like, what? All these great coaches and young coaches, and we stand up here with Dennis Allen. Boy, I tell you, boy, Mickey Loomis. That's why I said Mickey Loomis is stupid as hell, man. Nobody vetting for him. And you ain't even picked that guy. Sean Payton told you to hire that man. I already know Payton told you to hire that man. Well, Payton said he told you that. Well, I think Dennis Allen should be the coach. We covered it on the Sports Coma all the time. Dennis Allen should be the next head coach. And then after 8 hours of them talking to the dude that run the offense for the Washington Commanders, they ultimately get the job to Dennis Allen. And Sean Payton ain't have no silver. No, it wasn't Sean. It was me. I'm the man. I decided to. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Crazy. I don't get it. But the save this is what I'm saying on both these teams. They're counting on money. The Pelicans are now going to try to posture themselves or position themselves where they want a brand new arena. That's $1 billion. The Saints spent over $500 million on renovations to the Superdome. And that was your damn money. They don't pay rent. I tell y'all this all the time. What more you want me to give you? We don't make them pay rent on those buildings. They're basically in there rent free. The utilities are paid for by your taxpayer money. They take the parking, the concession, and all revenues that are coming out of it. You get the majority of the revenues. The books are locked and sealed on the deals that the Saints and Pelicans made with the state of Louisiana. The books are locked. How do you know this? You can do a quick Google search of when Tom Benson's daughters, Rita, I think it was Rita, it was an article, and we covered it. She wanted to sue Tom Benson because Tom Benson and them got into it. They didn't like Gail. They never agreed with Gail. They said that Gail wasn't giving them his medicine. She was giving them wine and candy. That's in the documents. See, I know all about this, man. It's just what goes in my mind when I'm talking about Saint stuff. And Rita, because it was multiple one. It was the family going against him because he cut them out the will, made them turn in their Benzes and all that, made them turn in all their cars and cut them out the will. Well, guess what? They came back with a lawsuit, said they wanted their money, took them to court, took Tom Benson to court. And they had a lawsuit saying that they wanted to open the books, the deal between the state, because it's sealed, between the Saints, the Pelicans, and the state of Louisiana. That, you know what happened right after that? Tom Benson settled right away with them and gave them their money. He did not want them to break open those books to let you know what kind of sweetheart deals the Saints and the state and the Pelicans and the state got going on. I don't need to open the books to know. I already know you're not paying no rent on the dome, or you ain't paying no rent on the rental. And now you want a brand new building? Talking about they need to be viable. Gail's the richest person in the state, bro. She the richest person in the state because they don't pay very much taxes. They gave him a tower, the Benson Tower. They gave him the Benson Tower for pennies on the dollars. They renovated it. And then the state came along and rented the suites after Tom Benson renovated the tower. They rented the suites back to the state, which was in the building, for double the price on the rent. So whatever the rent was per suite, they doubled it, and the state paid for it out of your money. Come on. What more you want me to give you? You don't pay rent. You don't pay your utilities on the building. You bank out, you take all of the stuff, and now I got to deal with you not winning? And I'm negative noise because I'm telling your goof ass to get right with this and find somebody that can lead this team. And all I want to do is win, man. The hell with that, man. I'm shutting all that down, man. Enough of this. That's why I think like what I'm thinking, but that's enough, fam. I'm done for the night. I'm done for the night, man. I'm done, man. I done told y'all what I'm going to tell y'all, man. And that's the God honest truth. Go look it up for yourself, just like I did. I'm telling you, I know what time it is, but these are my teams. I know. I don't sit up here and glorify the Saints, man. Or give you a cotton candy ass version of the Saints. I tell you the truth. You got too much cotton candy out there. You got too much weakness out there already. You need somebody to tell you the truth because there's too many people lying out there. We need straight truth with no chaser. That's what this world need. We need truth. We don't need no bull crap. We don't need no more BS. We don't need no propaganda. We don't need none of that. For people in the great Saint think tank, that's why I call it that, because it requires thinking, because they use their brains, and they're not just people that just turn it. They're just not fanatics that just do whatever the team tell you. Go over here and buy this. Okay, I'm going over here to go buy something. No, we're not doing that, because you don't get no respect for that. We got to let people know we serious. And the only way they're going to change, like we made them change many years ago when they were terrible, and we started putting the bags on, calling ourselves the Aints, because it wasn't a rival team that said, them the Aints over there. That was what the diehards called the Saints to defame them. Then they start showing up with bags on their heads. And then when they wouldn't listen to that, they just stopped showing up. See, that's the other part that people forget. When the bags came out at first and the team didn't listen, and then they just stopped showing up. They stopped going to the games. The money dropped off. And then when the money dropped off, that's when they got serious. I'm trying to give you the game. This happened before. We are in a cycle where it's repeating all over again, where they forgot that the object is to win championships, and the Saints have forgotten that. They don't operate with a team that's hungry, because you got old leadership at the top of the team. You need innovative young people, especially at the general manager position. Now I'm talking truth talk, and ain't nothing they can say about that can kick against that. They making money, they don't won't listen, so take their money away. You got the power. We got the power. So anyway, with that being said, man, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. I done spilled out enough, man. Listen, man, y'all do me a service, man. If y'all enjoyed the show, please hit the like button. Please feel free to share the show on your social media feed as well. If you listen to me via Twitter, please give me a retweet, because this real talk got to get out there, fam. Enough of this cotton candy ass shit out here with the Saints, man. We need reality, because that's what's going to turn this around. Not more hopium and all this nonsense. We need real talk, because this is the way we're going to reach the leadership of these teams and make them understand that we want a change to happen. And if order to change this, we have to get on code as a collective. We have to let them know that we're not supporting you because of this. This move of trying to trade Marshon Lattimore is an off-code move that I often talk about. Off code, because Lattimore is mad at the team's leadership because they're losing, because Dennis Allen is not the correct coach. And they would rather trade Marshon Lattimore, a top 5 cornerback in the NFL, as opposed to go Mickey Loomis, which is the correct course of action. On code behavior is Mickey Loomis goes to Dennis Allen and tells Dennis Allen, listen, you're gonna fix this team this year, or you out of here. I've given you as much time. I've taken fire from all these people. And maybe I should do it in his voice. Well, hold on here, Dennis. Let me tell you. Listen, your ass is going to get this together. Listen, I even took fire from all these goddamn people, Big Q and all this shit. I'm chewing my gum. I was chewing. Oh my God, it was tough. But listen, I have to fire your ass. You got to get it together. I mean, I'm telling you, ain't get this shit together. Listen, you're going to go in there. We're going to apologize to Marshon Lattimore. We're going to apologize, and we're going to tell him that, listen, we're going to do everything we can to make sure you get that. Listen, I promise you on a bowl of clam chowder stacked this high, that I will do everything I can to make sure that we win. I'm going to do I'm going to move heaven and earth to make sure we win. I promise you that. And if there's a problem with Dennis Allen, or if you feel disgruntled or anything, my door is open. Come on in. I'll iron out all the wrinkles. I promise you that. That's how he's supposed to go at it. That's how he's supposed to go at it, family. Not go up in there and talk about, well, we're going to trade Marshon Lattimore because he's disgruntled with the losing that Dennis Allen has brought upon the team. Boy, this is all this is off code. That's how I know that they ain't heading in the right direction. None of this makes sense. It doesn't make sense. He's not a locker room cancer. His contract ain't bad. He's mad at the leadership of the team not winning. So the answer is to trade him. You ain't gonna hear that either. You won't hear him say that either. They're gonna bring up his injury. Well, he's been injured the last couple of years. They're gonna throw that up there and not mention nothing from Dennis Allen. That's all right. We got the ass. Anyway, let me get out of here, fam. It's sad, but I ultimately think that in Marshon Lattimore will end up being traded. I just think that's how it's going to go. The contract is set up for him to be traded. They can save about $15 to $16 million. This $4 million this year and another 11 something next year. And then, of course, if they keep him here, it makes it difficult from a contractual standpoint for them to keep from 2025. So the timeline is June the 1st to the start of the year, man. We just have to pay attention. All right, so anyway, fam, let me get out of here. I appreciate y'all, man, for being on the stream. Listen, much love to the fam. As always, man, but tomorrow is Thursday. Probably I might be back for Thursday stream, fam. We'll see. We'll be probably doing the Pelican post-game report show on Friday where we open up the phone lines. We'll talk some Pelicans. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Pelicans. We'll open up the lines on Friday. I couldn't do it last time around. We did the end of the season recap. But this time around, shout out to Lex, who my contributor on the Pelican post-game report. More than likely, we'll probably do a show this Friday. We'll open up the phone lines for the family members to chime in on their thoughts on the Pelicans. And, of course, I'll be back tomorrow, family, to talk about it. Also, we know the Saints have the rookie minicamp coming up on the 10th. That is, what is it? That's Friday, I want to say. So we'll be covering that as well, man, all the latest news. And, of course, that'll be going on for over 2 days. So we're looking at I think it's from the 10th to the 12th over this weekend. The Saints will have the rookie minicamp. So there'll be some stuff to talk about on Saturday and Sunday. And, of course, I'll be here to cover it on the Sports Coma. So hit the like button, fam. Hit the subscribe button. Y'all have a fantastic rest of y'all night, man. And I'm going to holler at you on the next one. Peace. And that take.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network. WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue.